Hey guys, it's Lily here from Crafting Through Mental Health. So what we're doing for the next 2 weeks is a two-part video. So today you'll be having me, I'm doing 2 paintings for my college work. So that's what you'll be seeing on the screen. And also we're just going to be talking about dating with autism. So I am personally autistic, so I will be doing my point of view today, and my partner is neurotypical, as some people would say, not autistic, and we'll be doing a sort of interview with him in the next video. So many people who with autism will pick up and think their lives need to be like movies or TV. I personally did this, and in a way it isn't very good to do. I used to think that Disney was how life was meant to be. You were meant to meet your partner and you settle with that, which luckily for me I kind of did. Me and my partner have been together 5.5 years now. He's my first boyfriend, and I was very lucky to meet such an amazing person straight away. In reality, we don't always meet our Prince Charmings, and that needs to be kind of put across. We've also nowadays in 2019 we also have apps and various stuff like this. I want to remind people that Instagram, Facebook, people put out their best lives, and you're probably seeing it and getting down and thinking, I can't find a partner, or you know, they're so amazing and they can do everything. We all put our best lives out there, and it's not always reality. TV and movies aren't reality. Realize that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Dating is difficult for someone who doesn't have autism. So when you do have autism, it's extremely difficult. Most autistic people, like myself, find social interaction very difficult. It took me a very long time to learn, and I felt like I had to learn everything. I remember talking to like my sister and other people that just knew how to do handshakes and hug and stuff like that, and I was like, I feel like someone needs to teach me, this is how you do it, and that's how I know what to do. And it's the same with online dating. The amount of people that I know that are like, online dating is the scariest thing ever. It so is. I've personally never done it because Tinder came out after I started dating my partner, and I have sort of done friendship ones, but obviously it's not the same as dating, because I feel like, well, dating is just so much more harder. There's like, you want to get a bit more chemistry. I think some autistic people prefer dating online because it's not, you can do it from the comfort of your home, you can type it out, but it's still very hard. Text, you can't tell emotion from a text very well, and that's very hard to sort of pick up on. My advice would be, if you're struggling with the online dating thing, there are videos and stuff like that out there to sort of learn how to, what are the best photos to put up, what are the best way to write your bio. But with all that, so you can make yourself into a better person, but don't change for anyone. Be yourself and you'll find someone. And this is another big thing. This is advice to anyone. Don't change who you are. Someone will find you and love you for who you are. And we can always improve ourselves. There are aspects, maybe if you've got an anger problem or something like that, there are aspects we can change to improve ourselves. But we need to remember at the core, like, for example, if you're a Christian and you love being a Christian person, don't let anyone change that. Don't let anyone change your beliefs or anything like that. And I find, as an autistic person myself, this is from personal experience, I am such an easy person to change my view and be like, yeah, I believe that. If you can talk passionately enough, I will believe anything. Sometimes I just need to remind myself, actually, I don't agree with that. But because someone said it so strongly, I feel like I have to believe with that. I don't know if that's like me being autistic or not, but that's just how I feel. Also, with social cues as well, maybe learn how to do it. So I always am a believer of early diagnosis with autism is a good thing, because even though you shouldn't change who you are, so if you do have autistic tendencies, don't change them too much, but you can improve your life by sort of adapting to them, learning how to do social cues, learning a bit more about eye contact. You don't always have to do it, but like just learning little bits to make yourself feel more comfortable. So obviously not everyone gets diagnosed young, so maybe you were diagnosed later on. There are sources online to teach you how to pick up on body language and how to pick up on social cues and stuff like that, because it is terribly difficult. I mean, even non-autistic people say it's very difficult to pick up. It is good to kind of be more upfront, and someone might really like that about you. I know a lot of people think of autism as a bad thing, but there are aspects that might really make your personality amazing, and they make you who you are, and you gotta remember that, and people will love you for that. If you're talking to someone online and you're kind of like, I don't really understand this message, maybe get a good friend or a sibling or something to go, hey, what do you think this message means? We all need to do that. I mean, I do that quite a lot, and they might be able to help you with a reply, and that just kind of gets help. It's not, you know, the other person doing all the work for you, it's just a little bit of advice. So I wanted to mention dating with autism. In the UK, you'll know of a show called The Undateables, and when I was single, and this was a long time ago, I hadn't watched it, so I hadn't fully judged it, but I didn't like it. I thought, this just reminds me of the fact I was single, and I thought I would never be able to find someone, but actually watching it, I do think it does a good service to people with disabilities, with autism and all that, because it shows that people are different, but it doesn't mean they're any less. And also, I mean, the name isn't great, but I think it's TV at the end of the day, and they're there for entertainment, and they've got to draw people in, and Undateables is a lot more catchy to pick up on than another name that could have been a bit more nicer. So the whole autism thing, it's quite scary to tell someone you're autistic, but I believe it's best to be more upfront. Maybe not on the first date, or maybe if you feel like that's right, do it. Just mention, by the way, I'm autistic, or I'm slightly autistic, so I don't really like going to these sort of places or something like that. I feel like it's always better to be upfront with people, because then they know, and you've shown that they're all more honest, and you're more likely, when you get a reaction, you know whether to discard them or if they're a good person. If they're horrible to you and they're like, I'm not going out with someone who's autistic or something, this will hurt. It does hurt. It hurts when someone tells you, I don't like that about you, or something like that. But it will tell you, get rid. It will tell you straight away, no. And do not take it. You're probably thinking, oh, but they might change and stuff like that. No. You can try and get them to change, but in that position, do not let anyone tell you that you're any less than who you are, because you're not. So never let anyone put you down and make you feel any less than you are. You do not need that crap in your life, and getting rid of negative people is one of the best things I've ever done, and the best thing you could ever do. Also, if it doesn't work out, you've sort of taught that person a bit about autism, even if they're like, were nice about it, or even if they weren't nice about it. It will kind of let them know that this is a thing, and it's totally okay and normal to have. You're representing autism. I think we all have that thing. I'm representing autism. We all have this ability to kind of share it and be an ambassador for it. So you're kind of helping the cause by letting people know you are autistic, and it will teach them that it's normal to have, and maybe they didn't understand that, well, touching is a big deal for autistic people. And as an autistic person myself, it's weird. Touching is weird. If I don't know you, I can still feel the touch. If you touch my arm, I will feel it ages later. It's weird. I feel like so oversensitive with that sort of thing. Yeah, I can be very sensitive with it. And yet again, I felt like I had to learn how to hold hands, hug. Like, my family knew I was awkward at the whole hug family thing. I used to like tense up. And the reason was because I didn't know how. And now I know how. It's like I can mimic what to do. And some people will see that as like, you shouldn't mimic to be fit into society, but I think if it makes you more comfortable, and it makes me more happy because people feel comfortable in my presence, because people thought when I was growing up I didn't like touch. I like touch, I like hugs, I like that sort of thing, but I just didn't know how to do it, and I thought, oh my god, I'm so awkward, that I made myself awkwarder. So getting comfortable with someone is tricky, but always remember as well, and this goes for any person, no matter who you are, autistic or not, male or female, if you do not want to be touched and someone tries to touch you or anything, no. And no means no. And that is be all and end all. Consent is consent. So, and if they try and push you or blackmail you into doing something or anything like that, get rid of them. They are not worthwhile. Tell them that it's not right and you need their consent, and get rid, because they do not deserve you. And you deserve a hell of a lot better. Like I said earlier, you do not need that crap in your life. There are a lot of other issues with autism as well, like meltdowns or not liking to go with certain places. Be all and end all, just be honest with them and just let them know. And like I said, if they do generally care, they will be there for you. And I also say research is such an important thing. So let them, you know, maybe mention to them like researching into this, like if they're watching this video to get help, or they go onto websites and read stuff on how to sort of know when to react, or how what's the best way to react to certain situations. That's always brilliant. And in any relationship, talking is key, communication is key, and I think that will lead to a brilliant relationship. With my partner, he was very touchy. He didn't realise I was autistic at this point. I wasn't. I will be honest, I said to be upfront, I wasn't. I was scared about telling him. It took me a while to tell him. I told him after a while, and I wish I told him sooner, because he was so nice about it. I thought he'd be horrible about it. I thought he'd leave, and he didn't, and he was lovely about it. If you just explain to them that, like, I'm not overly touchy-feely at first, just let them know, and, you know, tell them that you have a boundary, but you still like them, but you just don't always show it in that sort of way. And that's okay. Just do what you feel comfortable with. And if you want to hold hands, ask. And, you know, if you are dating someone who is autistic and you don't know, ask. I think the best way to be with autistic people, and probably people in general, is to be a little bit more blunt and go, can I hold your hand? And if someone asks you to do that and you don't want to, just go, I'd rather not. And just be open with that. Sometimes you just don't want to be touchy-feely. And that's sort of the best way to be. And just take it slowly. If you do want to eventually be like that but you don't feel comfortable, just take it slow and you'll get there eventually. If someone really cares about you, they'll stick with it, and that's the important thing. I want to know, how are your relationships? Are you autistic yourself? How did you find dating? And if you're not autistic, how do you feel about dating someone with autism? Or if you ever have, how was your experience with that? I'd really like to know, and it's nice to have an open conversation in the comments. Anyway, I hope you have a fabulous week, and I will see you next Friday for another art video and a video with my beautiful partner Ashton. I will see you then. I love ya.